Hey there, so today we are going to learn how to log in with Scrapy. So to do that, we'll go to the quotes.scrape.com site. We will see here that they have login part. So if we go to the login, it will go to the homepage /login, as you will see in a moment. And here we have pretty much ordinary two inputs for username and password, and then login button. So for this site, since this is just a demo site, you can enter pretty much any password that you would like to, and also any password combo that you would like to, and click here login. It will pretty much work. And you can see from this specific page that it gets redirected first and foremost to the home page. And then finally, as you can see from here, it will have logout button appeared. So we are successfully logged in. So to replicate this with Scrapy, we will go to our desktop and we will first start the project and generate just a sample spider that will go to the quotes.scrape.com/login page first, and then it will enter the username and password, as you will see in a moment. So we just enter the terminal, we just, let's see, navigate to the desktop, and we then start the project. So Scrapy, start project, let's call this quotes login spider. Hit enter, and then right away we can go to the root directory of the spider, hit once again enter, and then we will generate our spider. So to do that, we will type Scrapy gen spider, and let's call this login, and domain name will be quotes.scrape.com. We will hit enter. We'll then go to the root directory, to the folder, and finally to the settings.py file. Since Sublime Text for some reason is working strangely and contains some bugs, I will use a different text editor. So here we will just have to set robots.txt obey to false. So we can do that, save it, and we can pretty much exit this. We will then go to the spiders folder and then go to the login.py file, which is our spider file. And here we will, we will first and foremost, let's navigate back to the Google Chrome. We will log out first, go to the login page, and let's copy and paste this URL. So copy and then go back to our text editor, paste it in the starting URLs. And let's save it and go to the terminal. And we can type in Scrapy, crawl, and then log in. Let's see if it's going to be working fine. And we got 200 response status, which is successful. And yep, this is the page that we want to go to. So everything seems to be working fine, which is great. The second thing that needs to be done, we can enter again really any combo or password and combo. I will just use foobar for username and also foobar for password. We will then right click, go to the inspect. We will navigate to the network tab, and here we will go to all. So all of the requests that will be generated, and we can then click here login, and as you will see in a moment, requests will be generated here. So the first one is, as you can see, will go to the quotes.scrape.com/login. The second one will go to the homepage. So this happens in 90% or really in majority of the times when it comes to logging into the sites. So you will go to the login page, and then after you successfully log in, it will redirect you to the homepage. As you can see from here, that also happens. And also from the status, which is 302 from here, it's redirected, and here it's a successful one, aka 200. So this is the request that we want to use because it will contain the information that we can use then in turn to log in or to replicate this once again with Scrapy. So we can click to the login, and in the headers tab, you can see here the requests URL, then the request method, post. On this specific page, it will be get, as you can see. So when we are working with the post requests, we'll have to use form request submodule from Scrapy, which is fairly similar to requests module. So we will just have to append additionally new parameter or argument in it called form data, which will be populated with the username and password, and as you will see in a moment, with the token for this given site. So if we scroll down to the form data, here's what I was talking about just moments ago. As you can see here, we have the username, password, and finally the token. So as you can see, this is the token that will be generated pretty much dynamically. The way that you can test this out is by going in once again to the homepage. And if we go to the inspect and just typing in CRF, see where it is, or just token. I think we need to open the body or something like that. Or we can just go to the view page source. Actually, that's a better idea. So if we now print out the token, it's, oops, sorry, not available. It's in the login page. Sorry, my bad. So if we go now to the inspect element and now type in token, as you can see, it's going to have the value, which doesn't correspond to this pretty much value. So it's dynamic. Well, the name indicates that it's token, which means that it will be dynamic value. This is also true on most of the logging in sites that you will encounter. Let's actually use something like this. Okay, so the way that you can then replicate once again this in Scrapy is we can go to the, let's see, where is our text editor. We'll first import the form requests. So to do that, we'll type in from scrapy.http import form request. So you can also from here import the ordinary requests. So as you can see, they come from the same pretty much submodule. Then here, let's see, we go, okay, allow domains is set correctly. We go to the login page, and here we will go to the parse method, which is the default method. And here instead of the pass, we will pretty much yield right away the form request. So we'll type in here yield, then form request. And then in parentheses, the first URL, it will be, or it will come from this specific URL. So you will go to the headers tab, to the general, and here you can see request URL. We will copy this, go back to the text editor, and then paste it in here. And we'll use comma here. And then the second parameter will be form data. Form data will pretty much use this information from here. The only thing that will be sort of be in a selector or dynamic value is this one. We can hard code these two values as they are really. So let's go back to our text editor and let's use form data will be equal, and then in curly brackets, the first one will be this token. So we can copy this, paste it. And then for now, let's leave it as it is. We will define here, let's copy this once again, paste it here, and we will use or build a custom selector in a moment for this data point that will then be reading really. So we can then reference it right away here. Oops, sorry, my bad. CSRF token, okay. And we will then use once again comma. We don't need this right now, so let's properly indent this. Now we will use the username, so username, and then again you can just use whatever on this specific site you would like to. So once again this will be hard coded, and then password. So I'm reading these values or the name of the values from here pretty much, just to make it clear. And once again full bar will be really sufficient, and I think we just need to use, okay, we can close this, we can then put here comma, and we can finally define here the callback. So callback is going to be equal to the self parse after login, for example, and we will then define it, of course. So function parse after login, we'll use self and then response, and for now we will pass it. And let's see if it's properly indented. It is. Let's see if there is something else that I'm missing here. Of course we need to define the token. or to select it. To do that, we'll navigate to the terminal, or first let's grab the URL. So once again, we'll go to the login, we'll copy it, go back to the terminal, and we'll open the new tab. And let's maximize this a little bit so it's more visible. Okay, so we will then just go to the Scrapy shell and go to the login page, and it's 200. Okay, everything is working fine. So we will once again go to the inspect and find this specific token with the control plus F, and then use search keywords such as token, and as you can see from here we can right away get to it. I mean, this is just a demo site, so it's fairly straightforward to get to it. So we can navigate to it by using the name attribute, and then also for the name attribute it will have to contain this specific value. So we can right away just copy this entire part of the HTML, and we will then go to the value and extract it. Really simple as that. So we will go right away to the Scrapy shell, and we will type response.expat, and then in parentheses we will, again in either single or double quotes, we will paste this code in, and let's then write a valid expat, so double slashes, asterisk, and then at name, and we will just close our square brackets, and I think it should be working, so let's test it out. Perfect, selector is found, and as you can see from here it's name and then it's input, and as you can see from here it's hidden, so it makes sense that it's dynamic one. So I think we can just use something like that, extract, open and close parentheses, to just get to the value, as you can see. So we just are going to type here at value to go to the specific value, so it's not going to be text or something like that, as you can see. So it's going to be at value, and if we hit enter we can get right away the value. Of course this value is right now in the list. To make it into a Unicode we will use extract first, open and close parentheses, hit enter, and here is our token. We will copy and paste it. We can close this one for now, go back to our text editor, and we can then just define it here, and we should be pretty much good to go. So it will go to the form request, and again this form request is pretty much similar to the request, so just make sure, well, this is how it would look like if it was request. So the first argument is the URL, and then you just define the callback, and in the middle if you have some meta data points items that you would collect, then you would do that, and that's pretty much it. Form requests, since it's not working with the get, rather it's working with the post requests, it will have the form data, which makes sense, and they will be contained in the dictionary, really, key and values. So we can finally save it, and we should be good to go. Go back to the terminal, and then just type in Scrapy, crawl, login, hit enter, and let's see if it's working. So as you can see, we get to the 200 response status, we go to the login page, we then get redirected, so 302 response status as we previously saw it. We redirect us, or the spider will redirect us to the home page, as you can see from, and then post. So since we've made a post request to it from the login or this specific page, and then we just crawl the pretty much home page as it is. To verify that it's actually working, there is a two-way method. You can either use, can either, okay, let's just define some username and password. We can go here to the inspect, and then we can say to find every A tag which has text logout, just to make sure that it's valid, so that scrape or actually spider was successfully logged in. So we can do that by just going to the text editor, and then in the parse after login we can say, let's say if this specific selector is existing. So once again, if from the A tag there is a logout as a text, so if response.expat, and then in the parentheses we will define every A tag with the text that will be in the double quotes, and then we can paste it here. So if this is a present, then we will just print out true as it is, or just print out that it's valid. So for now, let's or just use self.log and say you logged in and save it, and we can go to the terminal, and to test it out, let's run it, right? And if we go to the logs, we can see that we get the debug message that we have logged in. Additionally, what I've done previously to test it out, to test this out furtherly, is just go to the, or let's actually define this submodule first. To do that, we can say from Scrapy, let's see, utilities dot response import open in browser, and then in the code, so we can copy this, and in the code we will just use here open in browser, and then in parentheses we will just use the response. This will pretty much, after page will be load successfully, right, it will go to the response object, and it will just open this response object in my case it's going to be Chrome window, as you will see in a moment, from this specific tab. So new tab will be opened in the browser, really simple as that, as name indicates. Of course, we will save this, go back to the terminal, and let's right away run it. And as you can see, we have here logged out, or log out, sorry, button, which is present, which means that we've successfully logged in. So that would be it for this video, and I'll see you in the very next one.